if anyone takes anything from this podcast, like if you ever go to Japan, you need to be prepared, man.
Yeah, it's
because it's the travel.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Single Sounds. I'm your host Katie Mag, and this is your interactive audio dating experience where I showcase single Londoners for you to decide if you would like to date them. The warm weather in the UK is literally the best, and it's getting me so excited for the podcast live show in 2 weeks' time for your hot single summer. I'm delighted to share with you that I have Luke Nixon as my warm-up comedian, plus Alex Warhouse and Danny Scott as my single special guest, who will be sharing the best dating jokes and stories with you. Alex hosts her own podcast, How Not to Get a Boyfriend, so apt. And Danny does plenty of stand-up jokes about how he is tragically single, and they are very relatable. You will see clips of their intros on my Instagram at Single Sounds, so check those out. Tickets are still available, so make sure you secure yours for yourself and your friends so you can join us for this guaranteed hilarious evening. The ticket link can be found in the show notes or the description of this episode or on the podcast's Instagram. This week's character is chilled out, nerdy, yet always outgoing and willing to push himself to his limits. He has so many hobbies and is so passionate about how they have improved his life for the better, especially with how they create friends for life, which resonates with me so strongly. If you go travelling with him later down the line, make sure you attempt the local language basics to get in his good books. Hello, welcome to Single Sounds.
Hey, yeah, happy to be here.
Good, I'm glad. So we're going to start with your profile, your quick fire round to pique the listener's interest.
Okay, cool.
See if they want to date you. So we're going to start with, who are you sexually attracted to?
For me, it's like I'm into petite girls. I've got a weakness for blondes. No clue why. And then I do like curvaceous, like curvy girls as well, type thing. But yeah, that's what I'm into.
That's your type, your general type.
Yeah.
And we're going with women.
Yeah, women, yeah.
Okay, so you kind of answered the what are you looking for, but do you have any height age preferences?
I wouldn't say, I don't know, like in terms of height, I don't really care, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Age, I don't know. I mean, like 20 bracket, maybe 30 bracket type thing. I don't think above 31 or 32, but I think just like 20 to 30, I think, was fine.
Yeah. And how about where would you like to date?
Where, I mean, I don't really, as long as I'm not driving like an hour or something to go meet them type thing, but I'm quite open to it. I mean, London's cool and everything like that, but again, I'm quite open to wherever really, so, yeah.
Cool. So we're going to move on to the 3 A's, which is acceptance, adventure, and affection. Okay. Oh, we didn't actually ask, are you looking for a long-term relationship?
Oh, yeah, 1000%.
Okay, great.
I don't do the short-term stuff.
Because I was just about to say, that's what these 3 A's are about. Like what you need for a successful long-term relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we're going to start with the first one, which is acceptance. So your first question is, what is the nerdiest thing about you?
Nerdiest thing, I got like an entire list for this, to be honest. But I'm like into video games, anime, and then F1, American football. And then
lots of hobbies.
Yeah, lots of hobbies. Yeah.
That's good. People like hobbies.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, if you don't, like, life gets kind of boring, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
And then, well, funny enough, we'll lead into the other question, but like, I met one of my best mates on video games.
Oh, cool! Like online.
Yeah. Well, that when we go into the other question, you'll probably get why. But,
okay.
Yeah, but I would say those are the nerdiest things about me.
Nice. Do you think in a partner you'd want them to like join in, or they can just do their own thing?
Yeah, I mean, like, because at the end of the day, I just want my partner to be themselves.
Yeah.
It's just more like they're open to join me if they want to, and then if they're not into it, they're not into it, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Great answer.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next question is, what is your most controversial opinion?
Most controversial opinion. All right, so for this one, if I'm brutally honest, like, if you put milk in the bowl before the serial, you are actually a serial killer. I'm telling you now. Like,
Nice pun.
yeah, nice.
Pun intended.
Exactly.
Yeah, though, to be fair, I'm not sure if that's controversial because I feel like most people do that, but
I don't
it's
know.
a good thing to note.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think the other one, if it's more, I mean, it's more intelligent, I would say, rather than serial. It's like, my controversial opinion is like electric cars aren't really helping type thing with the kind of the pollution, all that kind of stuff. Like
Oh,
trying
like
to,
environmental
yeah,
issues.
environmental
Okay,
stuff. Yeah,
cool.
because it's more like for all of like the petrol heads, like the people who love like motorbikes or like sports cars or whatever the case may be. It's like, the amount of technology that goes into minimizing those engines to still provide the sufficient horsepower as well as to limit carbon dioxide coming out of the car. And then they're developing, another fuel source, which is like hydrogen fuel and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of like the electric cars and all of that stuff, it's like the amount of environmental stuff that goes into just making that lithium battery into the car, as well as let's take the energy that it takes to put into the car. Like, not all of that is like green energy. Like, it's coming out of like the gigantic chimneys that you see pumping out loads of pollution. And it's I just don't believe electric cars are the way forward. It's counterintuitive. So, but that's
No, I do. I've looked into this like a teeny bit. I wouldn't say I'm an expert, but I do know that the batteries, like you said, once they're kind of used or like in an old car, they're quite hard to dispose of. I don't think you can just like reuse them.
Yeah, you can't.
So then we're gonna have like, I definitely read that somewhere, that we're gonna have like a battery disposal like wasteland of just like, I don't know where they go once. So,
exactly. But,
and I do agree, I'm not sure that they're like the complete answer to all our problems.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, like you said, we're still using energy, so that has to come from somewhere. And I don't think it's all coming from like solar panels.
Yeah, exactly.
Or we need to focus on that first. Like, where do we get our energy from?
Exactly.
But yeah, the batteries is a problem, I think. Also, obviously, lithium is a resource, like depleting. So that's also not great. You've got to mine it, surely. So I think that's a good a good topic to talk about. Okay, we're going to move on to adventure section. Yeah, this is when you're going to take us on an adventure with your stories.
Okay, cool.
Starting off with a crowd favorite of what is your worst dating story?
Oh my god. Okay, wait. So this one is like, it's kind of funny. So I matched with this girl, Tinder, all that kind of stuff, doing all the jazz. She on her bio, I think she was explaining how she just moved to like London, and her first initial experience was her falling down the stairs.
On the tube?
No, like in trying to take her suitcase off and going down the stairs or something like that. And she fell down the stairs. I'm like, all right, guess I can like,
good welcome.
I can work with this. Like, if she swipes right on me, I'm like, all right, cool. Eventually got her Instagram, started talking to her. She's giving all the chat. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm feeling the vibe. Organize a date. She flaked on it, and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, fair enough. Whatever. Got to get all my stuff.
I think that does happen quite a lot with the app dates, doesn't it? People flake. Yeah.
So she flaked on the date, and then I was like, all right, cool. And then she came back to me and was like, oh, I'm free on this day. And I was like, okay, let me do Uno reverse card. I was like, what do you want to do on the date? And then and what it was she was like, oh, let's just go Simmons, have some drinks. I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. Go Simmons. She arrives, and I'm like, cool. Sit down, have some cocktails, and then I'm realizing that her eyelash is hanging off, and I'm like, this is a great start.
Which side? From the corner?
Yeah, it was here. I don't know if obviously I'm on camera or whatever, but like,
no, but
it's
they don't.
peeling. It's peeling off like on the left side, like, and it's like that, and I'm like, oh mate.
So it's coming off from the inside of her eye.
Yeah.
Like coming across.
And I'm like, okay, cool. I'll just ignore it. It's fine.
That's hard to ignore, though.
And I was like, I've got to be the gentleman that I am. I was like,
not point it out.
I was like, I got to firm this. And then it's more like, as we're talking, I'm like noticing like how on Instagram she's giving all the chat, and then in real life I'm like, okay, it's getting a bit boring now. Like, and I'm like having to carry this conversation.
Yeah.
And I was just not feeling it at all. She got a second round of drinks. I was like, fuck. And then
tied in for another half an hour.
Yeah. And then we did that, and then just I clear cut it there, and I was like, oh mate, that was like the biggest waste of 2 hours I've ever had in my life.
Oh, wow,
like,
you did stick it out.
I stuck it out because I was
and
like,
the eyelash was off the whole 2
whole
hours.
whole time. And then it just got into like a conversation of just
So
random topics, and I was just there like, yeah, I've never wanted to be out of a situation in my life so badly. I'm like, please.
I'm really enjoying like the image of her getting home as well and
Oh,
seeing the
yeah.
eyelash, and she
Yeah.
would have been like, how long has that been off?
Yeah, and I was like,
all day.
yeah,
The whole day.
yeah. And
Oh,
then
bless.
not long after, it was my birthday, like I think a few days after, or like a couple weeks on, she was like, happy birthday. I was like, yeah, thanks. And then it just cut from there, and I was like, okay. But yeah, that was about it. And that was like my worst date I've had in a long time. So
Yeah.
It's pretty bad.
Did it put you off for a while?
Oh yeah, I'd stopped for ages because for me, it was just more the fact of like, all the chats going on, like if you're WhatsApping, texting, Instagram, whatever you want to use, and then there's like, as soon as we meet up in real life, like, how have you gone from this person with so much personality to like a brick wall to talk to? And it's more like, if I'm having to carry 90% of the conversation, like, what we doing here, type of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it put me off for a while because I was like, I mean, I got put off apps for a long time because it's either in that instance where meet up for a date and then it's like a brick wall, or you get pen pals, which I get a lot of for some reason. And
that's interesting.
Yeah,
just like never actually meeting.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh yeah, it's like, why are you wasting my time?
Have you done more like in-person dating recently?
I've just stopped dating apps for a bit of time, but I wanted to put myself back out there, just by doing like extremes like this podcast, for example, or I was trying out that Thursday stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's interesting, but ruthless at the same time. And then in terms of the apps, it's like here and there, but on the apps, I'm not sure why. I just get pen pals. It's like they don't really want to do anything. It's just like just talk. I'm like, okay, but you're defeating the entire purpose of this app. I don't know if it's just me or the vibes I give out. I have been told I give off extremely like relaxed vibes and all that kind of stuff, but that's just me.
So you think people just like chat to you?
Yeah, just chill.
And then just happy, yeah, just no one's initiating.
Yeah, and I was like, cool. I mean, I tried to initiate, but then it's like either they just shoot it down or just go around it, and I'm like, all right, cool, we're gonna cut this. But yeah, that's my thing.
Fair enough. And what is the biggest risk you've ever taken?
Oh,
interesting question.
I've got like an entire story about it, so you're probably going to get comfortable here. But what's it called? So obviously we're going to circle back to the start in the instance when I was like, oh, my, hobby is like playing video games, right? So I'm in school, 2007, and I'm literally like playing Halo 3 custom games where basically we make maps and do stuff like we were playing Jenga and all this kind of stuff. And I met this guy in Halo 3 custom games lobby. He was a kid, I was a kid, and we just stuck it out and eventually became best mates of like 16 years.
That's mad.
But it was like at university, it fell off a bit because I couldn't get my Discord to work. And then we would Snapchat here and there. Pandemic hits. And I managed to fix my gaming PC, fix my Discord, inbox him because I saw him online, and he was like, "Oh, hey man, how you doing?" He was like, "Oh, I'm great, dude." And then he was like, "Who is this again?" And I was like, "Because I changed my name." And then I was like, "Oh, it's Thing," and he's like, and he just goes ballistic. He's like, "Oh my god!" And then we get into a call, and then we was like, "Oh my god, how have you been?" Then I was like, "How's Thing doing?" Like another boy in the group, and then he was like, "Oh, he's good." And then I was like, text him to get on right now. And he was like, okay, cool. And then he's texting, but he's not picking up. I was like, I know this man. He is in bed sleeping. You're gonna call him right now. Calls him, picks up, and he's like, dude, I'm on call with Thing. And then he's like, you're lying. And I was like, no, I'm right here. And then he just joins the Discord chat and we all go crazy. And then fast forward, one of them unfortunately passes. And then what was it? I was like 2022, January. I was like, you know what? I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something crazy. I was like, let's meet up, and then I flew all the way over to like Dallas.
Oh wow, they're
Yeah,
in the States.
yeah. Flew all the way over there, met him in real life,
That's crazy.
but it was hilarious.
Could have been catfished.
Oh,
Could have been a
never.
whole episode.
I was like, you know what? Yeah, 16 years of graft, I'll give it to him. And then I get there, and then he meets two of my mates, and then he just looks at me and he just gives me like a bear hug. And then we're doing like a snowboarding trip because we organized it. So we had like a room for 3 double beds. 2 of them have been stingy with their double beds. So he's looking around like clueless of what to do. So I roll over and then I just whip over my cover and he like nose dives into my bed. Like it was just like we were brothers.
Yeah.
And then we were just like messing about, snowboarding, all this kind of stuff. He showed me his gun because he's American. And then fast forward that, and we went to New York City last year, and that was amazing. And then what before that actually is like when we met up in the hotel room and all that kind of stuff. I FaceTimed his parents, all this kind of stuff.
Oh my god, it's like a relationship.
Yeah, legit. And then he was like, "Yeah, I just do that to prove you're not a serial killer." I was like, "Obviously, I'm not a serial killer." Like,
yeah. Well, it's quite a risk, like staying with someone in a hotel.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You don't, like an
you
online friendship. Yeah,
definitely.
It's a pretty big risk.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure I'd do it. I've had to have a lot of FaceTimes before.
Oh yeah, and then September, I went to his hometown and actually met his whole family.
Oh my gosh.
And all this kind of stuff. I have got another story if I can fit that in there, but
yeah.
Oh, basically,
fit in whatever you like.
The other one was my university experience actually, because I went from like ultra video game nerd kid who never left his bedroom, like banging out Call of Duty, all that kind of stuff. Get to uni, I'm like, you know what, I've got to go outside the box. Like, I can't keep doing this the rest of my life. And then I joined the American football team, and then that has like massively impacted my whole life. As in, I would have never been the man I am today if I didn't join that team.
That's really nice.
And then
I actually feel the same about my university team.
Yeah.
Like all my best friends are from there. I played water polo, but I hadn't played before uni.
Okay.
I just like joined because I wanted to do a sport.
Yeah.
And it was literally like the best decision.
Yeah,
anyone going to uni, I'd say the same. Like join a club, join a society.
Yeah, exactly. And
like you said, it literally changes your life.
Oh yeah.
It sounds really dramatic.
Oh,
and like we're being over.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean it was amazing. Amazing community, sorry. Amazing people. Everyone's very down to earth. Really helped me come out my shell.
Yeah. You just meet like really like-minded people.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then especially like me trying to get into the dating game back then as well, as like I couldn't even it was so bad I couldn't even look at a woman. Like I was like put my head down, I was like, God damn, like and all that kind of stuff. Like prior to uni, never kissed a girl, never did anything. And all that kind of stuff. They really backed me up. It was a really family vibe. And then
it's so nice, like not being judgy about it, just actually like helping you and
exactly. And then it was
giving you
more
advice. That's so sweet.
Meeting some of my guys now, and joining the team I'm on now, and like all this kind of stuff. It just falls into place, and you just got to think like, wow, like that one decision.
Yeah, it's mad.
Everything
exactly. I literally wasn't even sure I was gonna go. Like I remember the tryouts, and I was like, like I was a bit like apprehensive, and it's just crazy to think that if I never went, like if I never did it, I wouldn't have like literally half my friends I do now.
Yeah,
like it's
100%.
weird.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah.
Do you play still?
Oh yeah. I'm on the team. I've got like a massive bruise underneath this arm, type of thing. But yeah, no, I still play. It's
That's cool.
Just it's very weird. Like it's just the camaraderie, the brotherhood about it, and then we just got each other's backs and pushing yourself mentally and physically to that limit, and just having those away games and coming back and just getting absolutely wasted when you win. It's just it's very like when you take in the moment of just like all of these really cool guys and just it's amazing. And then it's women can play as well, like if you want to play in the guys team or the girls team type of thing. It's just really easy and good way to meet people. Like I wouldn't be on the podcast if I wasn't.
You found out about it through football.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
love it.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
that's why you're here. See, it is life changing.
It is life changing. Yeah.
No, I can tell from these answers like friendship's really important to you, and I think that's a really nice quality.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Especially for a guy. This is quite controversial, maybe, or maybe not. Maybe it's just like not what people say, but I think I've always felt quite lucky as a woman that like
Mm.
female friendship's always been something that it's kind of a given that you should have and you
Yep.
should cherish. It's so important, I think, for people to have
Yeah.
friends. And I think as a guy, it's just a bit harder, like
Mhm.
to have really close mates that you can actually like talk about serious stuff. Like you said,
Yeah.
they big you up, they back you up. Like,
Oh yeah.
my female friends will do that all the time, but I just
Oh,
feel
yeah.
like as a guy, it's harder to form those friendships.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's different on American football because you're literally like putting your body on the line
Yeah.
for the guy beside you. And
So you got to trust each other.
you got to
yeah.
back each other. And then I don't get me wrong, like there will be times where I'm getting absolutely roasted alive. But there was like, I love you though. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
It's hurtful, but it's
Yeah.
from a place of love. So
No, that's so sweet.
but yeah.
That's really nice. And this really ties in nicely with the next section because it's affection.
Oh, yeah.
We've done affection for your friends.
Oh yeah.
For now, we're going to do affection, like where do your affections lie or not lie for dating? Next question is, what is your biggest ick?
Biggest ick. Oof. This one like it's kind of random, but like you know when you go on holiday, right? And then you've gone to another country where, let's just be honest, like the lingo is not English type
Mhm.
thing. It's like I don't like it when someone has done zero knowledge or like is basically doing nothing to try and adapt to that country's like
Yeah.
speaking and all that kind of stuff.
No research.
yeah,
Not
so,
even like, please, thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Those
And
levels.
it's like, oh, do you speak English, mate? It's like, oh, I don't think they do because we're in a different country. Like,
Yeah, don't assume.
Yeah, and then what? Raising your voice louder is going to make them understand. Like,
Oh,
no,
my
no.
goodness.
It's
Yeah.
like that's not going to work. Like, I went to Japan recently, and my
That's
mate.
cool.
Oh no, it was cool.
But yeah, I've been. They do not speak English.
They do not speak English.
Don't even try.
And it's like
it's difficult.
We got lost, and this old man's like come out, and he's like confused as to what's going on. My mate just goes, "Oh, do you speak English, mate?" I'm like, "Why are you asking that?"
Yeah.
And
they're
then,
not even going to understand it anyway.
Exactly. And then the other time is we went to forgot what the name of it is called, but basically it's like their cash machines. You can only take out 10,000 yen, which is the equivalent to £65.
Okay.
And he goes up to cashier and he's like,
just like on their ATMs?
Yeah, just ATMs, yeah. And then he goes up to the cashier and he's like, "Oh, can I break this into like 5,000, 5,000?" I'm like, "What are you doing?" Like,
oh, it was a person.
Yeah,
that you had to like speak to.
Yeah, no. So he took the money out, but he wanted
Right.
to see if he could break it, basically.
Oh, I see.
And then he's like raising his voice louder,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like, I'm just there, like the urge to slap you, brother, is like getting real. But
yeah, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, and it's like that's my biggest thing.
It's
It's like,
such an ick,
I
yeah.
don't know. It's like it's just like do the basics,
Mhm.
learn the basics. Is like French is bonjour, merci, merci beaucoup, all that kind of stuff. Like just learn the basics, and worst case, just pull out Google Translate.
Yeah, and show
just
them
write it down,
100%.
and then that's it. It's
like
not-
at least attempt.
yeah, or well, my dad, he is like a traveler, like in his 20s, which is what he's like instilled into me, is more like get out there, because let's say when you meet someone, or if you're popping out kids or whatever the case is, you're
Popping them out.
yeah,
Love
like
it.
you're
Just so easy,
But when you build your own family, all that kind of stuff, it's like you're not gonna have time to do this. So
Yeah.
it's just more like, or it'll be extremely expensive. So he's just like, just get out there, and you'll learn so much about the world and yourself.
hmm
And my dad's age-old tactic is, if you don't know the language, just point.
yeah.
Just point.
Sign language, yeah.
Just point at what you want. That's it. Done. He's like, you might come across like a bit of a knob,
Yeah.
but if you point, you're good.
But probably less of a knob than just speaking to them in English
Yeah,
and then
just like-
replying in their language. Like that just is ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, the cashier was like, no. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, that's my biggest thing, to be fair.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. I would agree, because I didn't do Spanish
Oh, yeah.
at school, like ever. As in, like, we did French and German. I just never ever did a Spanish class in my whole life. But I can still say the basics.
Yeah.
Like banos for toilets. Because like it's,
you need to go.
Like I've been to Spain a few times. Like you need to know. And I also, there's loads of other countries like South America, for example, where like having some Spanish is really all you need to get by, because most of them do speak Spanish. So rather than English. But like you said, I just think it's like learning keywords. That's just something that I'd expect people just before you go away, just like have a list, write them out if you need to, like, so you can just quickly look back, you know, press the little icon on Google that like speaks it and you just repeat it back. Like, it's not hard.
Or you just play it to them, and then it may not come out as perfect translation, but you know, it's something.
And I always use that example when people are like, oh, but I never did it that, or like that specific language in school. And I'm like, so? Neither did I. But like, you don't do every language in school. It doesn't mean you can't like research and attempt. And
then I think the coolest thing about like Google as well, I don't know if you know about it, but it's like if you go onto Google Translate and turn the camera on, you can like translate the sentence. So if you're like on a menu, it will translate the whole menu into
it's so
English.
Cool.
So
that is really good.
That was another way we got around in Japan.
Yeah, because their text obviously is not alphabetic.
I was just there like, does this look like an A? Like,
that's it. But, I think there's like no chance.
Nothing.
I'm gonna move on to your bestie rec. So this is your close friends summarizing why someone should date you.
Oh, okay. I don't know what he's gonna say there.
Attention, all single ladies. Let me introduce you to a guy who's a complete package. He's got the strength and skill to dominate on the football field, but also the heart and humour to win you over off of it. He's the kind of guy who will make you feel like the most important person in the room. When he's not tackling down 350-pound linemen and quarterbacks in a muddy field, or cracking shit jokes at the pub, he loves to travel and explore new places. He's a kind and genuine person who is always up for trying new things and making memories. Trust me when I say that you won't find a better guy out there. You can definitely count on him to keep things interesting. So, if you're ready to meet a guy who can make you feel like a queen and keep you laughing all the time, well, you've met your match. Ladies, you definitely won't want to miss the chance to get to know him more in person. So drop a line and arrange a date.
Nice. Adorable.
He picked you up.
Yeah, he did.
Went with that angle.
Yep.
And got your travelling in there, which we just spoke about. So.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Good. Do you try and go like a few times a year? What's the vibe?
You know what? I'm trying to dial it back this year, but I always try to go every few times a year, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Because what was it like? What did I do in? So I did. I already done Japan.
That's a pretty big one.
Completed it. That was not like, oh mate, like if anyone takes anything from this podcast, like if you ever go to Japan, you need to be prepared, man.
Yeah, it's
because it's the travel. Because I swear to God, we like the travel back. It was 20 hours.
Wow.
So we were like, boys, what are we gonna do? And I was like, all right, cool. This is the plan. You do not sit down for the entire day. So when you sit
just
down,
exhausted.
Yeah. So when you sit on the plane, we're out cold.
Yeah.
It was like 11 hours back to Dubai, and then Dubai back to London.
Another 7.
And it was like painful, but we all knocked out. And then by the time we woke up, it was like an hour or 2 left of the flight, and I was like, mate, came in
so
clutch.
Good.
Yes.
Such a good feeling. You can like see it on the screen. You're like, an hour left.
Yeah. And then
Love it.
I did Japan. I was going to do Iceland for my birthday, but I've actually I swapped it. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to get my motorcycle license.
It's different.
Yeah, and then towards the end of the year, I believe I might go back to the States.
Yeah, and do a tour.
Yeah,
on the bike.
Yeah, exactly.
I have friends that do that. It's really cool.
Yeah, so I might do that, and then also see my best mate that I was talking about in the biggest risk ever.
Oh yeah, the gaming one.
Yeah, he's moved to New Jersey now with his girlfriend.
Nice.
And I was like, I'm a proud older brother. And, I might go visit him, might do snowboarding over there, or I might do Iceland in the winter when it's nice and cold, snowy.
Yeah, and go see the Northern Lights.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm really keen to go to Iceland, actually. Yeah. My birthday's in January, so I'd quite like to go for my birthday, because it'd be cold.
Dope. Yeah, that'd be dope, yeah.
I'm waiting for someone to take me. Okay, let's wrap it up.
All right.
We're going to do a short summary of why someone should date you. Go for it.
I would just say I'm very outgoing, cool, nerdy, chilled out. That's it.
Someone can tolerate video games.
Yeah, someone can tolerate video games. Outgoing. I love traveling, and then I love pushing myself to my limits and all that kind of stuff. I don't like kind of the average. I don't like to be average. I don't like to just chill out and do the basic boring things that I'm always about for an adventure and just getting out there and just living life to the max. And yeah, that is like the worst summary on the planet. But
That's good.
I'm just I'm trying to think like on my feet.
It's hard to summarize like yourself.
Yeah. It's like
that's why we get a friend to do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when you go on a job interview, you're just like, so why should we hire you for this?
That's
like,
awful.
I don't know. Like I just applied for it, bro. Like,
I don't know what it's about. It just looked kind of cool.
Yeah, look cool. Money you could do with it. But, but I would say that probably to summarize is probably the best thing I could do right now. But
you did well.
No, yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on. So if that summary sounded like your kind of guy, definitely contact the podcast at Single Sounds to get his details and go on that first date. Don't forget to get your live show tickets whilst you're here. Just tap on the description of this episode and I can't wait to see you in 2 weeks' time. Thank you for listening and supporting as always, and I'll see you next Tuesday.